What an awesome day to be a chicken. Got him a beetle. This is my little buddy. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to the farm. Today we're going to be talking about our pastured poultry, and we're going to show you our techniques of how we raise our pastured poultry. We're also going to compare the Ranger broiler with the Cornish cross broiler. So we're going to show you the different sizes of the chickens. We're at about week number 7 here on our chickens, and we do things a little bit differently here on the farm. So our chickens get a lot more forage, they get a lot more grass, they get a lot more bugs, they get a lot more room to roam, and they grow quickly. So come along today, we'll show you our whole setup right here. Every year we do things just a little bit different. We tweak our methods to perfection, I guess, and if we mess up, we'll share that with you too. So come along, let's have some fun talking about meat birds, and we'll show you what we do here on our farm for success. All right? Woo! You ready? Are you ready?
I've been running around this farm just chasing them chickens that are running along, yeah. I've been running around this farm just chasing them chickens that are running along, yeah. 'Cause we got goats, we got pigs, and we got chickens. Goats, pigs, and chickens. Goats, pigs, and chickens.
Okay guys, welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to our farm. We are on about a 150-acre farm here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, and this is our dream. We're following our dream. We're building our farm here on the YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, pound that like button. We'd love to have you back. Also, for those of you guys that are subscribed and you've been here for a while, the merch is out. So we got our new hats and our new shirts. There are several new shirt designs that are going to go up on StoneyRidgeFarmer.com. There'll be a link down the video description. And finally, you can get some Stoney Ridge Farmer hats. I think we have 4 different designs. So cool. A little shout out to myself, I guess, before we get started. So these are our meat birds. We bought 50 Cornish cross, and all these birds came from Murray McMurray Hatchery. We bought 50 Cornish cross and 50 Ranger broilers. We wanted to do some experimenting this year. We love the Cornish cross bird. It makes a huge double-breasted monster of a bird. However, a lot of people are kind of turned off by the fact that the birds lounge a lot. I say lounge, they kind of lay around a lot. In our situation, they don't lay around a lot, except for right in the heat of the day, and they're underneath the coop right here lounging right now. And we also give them access to grass, forage, feed, water, and we'll talk about all the feed and the water things that we use too. So all the waterers, you see these red waterers right here, they're awesome, they're easy to use. You just pick up the lid and you fill up the waterers. We have some red ones and we have some green ones. I think the red ones are around a 2.5 to 3 gallon, and the green one is somewhere around 5 gallons, a full 5-gallon bucket. Now this is our front pasture. It's not fenced yet. Typically, we would run these birds right here on our front lawn pretty much. And let me pick the camera up and kind of show you. So this is our front lawn. We're going to take you back over and we'll show you the areas that the birds were at last. So you can see they were here, and then you can see green, luscious dark green as we walk further over here. Luscious dark green grass. So we started out with our birds, and again, this is 100 birds. It was too many birds for our 10 by 12 chicken coop, our mobile coop, our Joel Salatin style coop, but they still lounge under it. So they've got all this space. We've got 2 rows of Premier One fencing. One is the shock or not fence for baby chicks, and one is just the poultry netting, and it runs all the way around this. So this is probably 1/4 of an acre that these birds get to roam around, scratch around, and eat. Now they can't just live on grass, so we supplement them with organic food from Reedy Fork Farm, which is a local farm here close by. Those are Broiler feeders. You can get all these feeders and waterers at Murray McMurray Hatchery. This is the setup. This is the best setup that we've found so far. So you've got a couple choices here when you're raising your meat birds. You can confine them to a small area, and they're probably going to put on weight a little bit faster. However, they're not going to get the exercise from running around, and therefore the meat may not be as tender. So meat gets tender from exercise. Meat grows from exercise. So these birds will be succulent, tender, and juicy. They have sunshine. They have that vitamin D that we're looking for. They're higher in vitamin content, and they exercise. They're allowed to be chickens, and we're gonna let them all out here in just a minute. Now, with your meat birds, in this case, you can let these guys out every night and they'll go right back to the coop. So they've been encased in this poultry netting for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they always sleep inside the coop. Do they need a roost? No, they don't need a roost. Now, if you have, we had like 9 inches of rain, you have a torrential downpour, you want to put something in there to keep your birds up out of the water. You don't want your birds to be wet. So we're going to open the gate here, and we're going to watch all these chickens get super crazy excited, and they're going to run through the entire yard. And it's June bug season and Japanese beetle season. So what are our birds getting? What they're supposed to get: a high protein food and high protein snacks. Let's let them loose. Now guys, the key to success with raising healthy food for your family is keeping your animals moving throughout the farm. And there's a whole lot of folks that don't subscribe to that. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing here on the farm. And again, we're a first generation fledgling farm. We're learning how to do this so that we can make a profit on it later on down the road. This is the food for our family right here. So these 100 birds will feed us for about 2 years most likely, and we'll also trade some with the neighbors. So one neighbor might have corn in his garden, he's got a ton of it, we'll swap him some chicken for some corn. One neighbor might have squash, we'll swap him some chicken for squash. One neighbor might have a bunch of beef, we'll trade. So that's what we do here. It's community. It's all about community, and that's why you're here on YouTube watching this. So before we open the gate, this is the IntelliShock 60 fence charger. It's a fully solar self-contained system with a built-in ground rod system. I'll show that to you if you haven't seen that before here on the channel. What else you need to know is this mobile coop right here is a PVC coop. There'll be a link at the end of the video to that and how it was built. It's a PVC, 4-inch PVC coop. It's 2.5 feet tall. And typically, if we only have about 35 birds, we can move that coop every single day throughout the yard. However, I'm finding confining the birds doesn't make the meat taste better. Letting them roam and letting them be chickens and letting them eat bugs and dirt and rocks, that's what's up. That's where it's at right there. So without further ado, let's open this up. Stick around because we're going to show you what we do with our feed. We do something a little bit different with our feed. We wet it. Now we don't have to let it ferment, but we wet it. And one of the biggest expenses of having chickens or any type of livestock is food waste. So the way we do this, we have minimal food waste. The chickens digest the food better. It doesn't make as much manure, and it makes the chickens grow faster. It's really cool. So let's open them up and show you what happens. To turn off the IntelliShock, we just hit that button right there. We're ready to rock and roll. We'll undo this, and we'll open this little gate. And these chickens are excited about getting out, and the ones that did get out are excited about getting back in. Now this Premier One fencing is awesome. It keeps the predators out, so we've never had a predator problem with the Premier One fencing here. We've never had any issues with any kind of predators getting in after our chickens at night, because it'll shock them. They stick that nose in there and boom, that runs off the predators. So let's open the gate. Hey, birdie. There you go, birdies. It's a little warm out here, so they're all kind of under the lounge. I call this the lounge area. So the chickens will get under here where it's shady and they'll lounge. Now that I've opened the gate, they'll get into the woods and they'll lounge in the woods, and they'll be pecking up worms and bugs and all kinds of stuff. And you can see them out here. That's what they're doing. See that one running across there? They're running after bugs. They're running after Japanese beetles. It's awesome. Guys, I'm of the theory that happy birds are healthy birds, and healthy birds make healthy humans when we consume them. So it's a no-brainer really to let these birds get some sunshine, get some bugs, get some grit, get some dirt in their lives, and that's what they need. So eventually throughout the day, these birds will make their way out of this little gate that we opened right here, and they'll come out and they'll go in the woods and they'll peck around and they'll roam this entire area. Don't do this right up next to mom's prized flower beds, because you're gonna have ruined flower beds. Those chickens will get into your flower beds. Our house is way up here. probably, I don't know, 70 yards away, 60 yards away, and you can see these guys are chasing bugs. That's what they do. They come out and they chase bugs. Awesome. That's the way a chicken's supposed to live. So let's talk about our feed setup. What we use is an organic feed from Reedy Fork Farm, and you can see it's quite dusty, okay? So we'll take, this is a 1 gallon scoop, we'll take 5, I say it's a 1 gallon scoop, but it doesn't fill up a 5 gallon bucket. So we'll take 5 scoops. That's 3, that's 4, and that's 5, which is nearly a half a bucket, a little bit more than a half a bucket full, and we'll add water to it. I'll show you how we do that. All right, so we take our bucket with 5 scoops and we fill it within about an inch of the top. You wait probably about 20 minutes and all that will be soaked in to the feed. Now typically we'll mix our feed a day ahead of time, maybe even 2 days ahead of time. This flock of 100 birds will consume 2,000 pounds of feed prior to slaughter. We feed them 2 5-gallon buckets like this. Now when we wet our feed, it helps to pre-digest the food for them. It also, I think it provides them with a probiotic, kind of like a vinegar to the birds. If you wait like 3 or 4 days, you're gonna get beer, like chicken beer. So you probably don't want a bunch of drunk chickens running around your yard. So I suggest just 2 days with letting the feed get wet. Now you can see this chicken down here, he's inquisitive. They'll probably be over in that bucket in just a minute. So the lounge area, again, is a 10 by 12 mobile PVC coop. There'll be a link at the end of this video. And all these pieces of equipment you see here, you can get on Murray McMurray's website, all but the buckets and my shiny silver feed bucket over there. Now we buy our feed in bulk, so if you are raising chickens like this, pretty much 1,000 pounds feeds 100 birds for the lifespan of the meat bird. Now you can see some of these birds are white and some of these birds are brown. The brown ones are the Ranger broilers and the white ones are the Cornish cross. Let's compare those 2 birds. So the birds that are chilling out here in the lounge area, and you'll see a mixture of the Cornish cross and the Rainbow Ranger broiler, they're all just kind of chilling out. I find that the Cornish cross, when given the opportunity to run around and roam free prior to the time when they're so big they just can't walk, I find that they're a very active and a much more friendly bird than the Rainbow Ranger. How do I know this? Well, let a Ranger get out and try to catch him versus a Cornish cross. The Cornish cross will come right up to you and the Ranger will run from you. So it's interesting how that all works. Let's check out our birds here. So that is a Cornish cross right there. The Cornish cross probably grows about 1/3 faster than the Rainbow Ranger. And you can see, or Ranger broiler, people call them. That's a Ranger right there. It's probably, I don't know, 1/3 smaller than that big old Cornish cross right there behind it. Now the Ranger broiler is a little bit better at running around and foraging, and it's a little more robust bird. So it's better suited to sunlight and grass and free ranging than I think the Cornish cross birds are. But you can see out here in the yard, they're all running around. And buddy, let me tell you, they know how to spot a bug. It's amazing watching these guys run. These are Cornish cross, but these are not the typical Cornish cross that you see. These aren't the lazy Cornish cross birds. If you give them the opportunity, they will run, they will forage. Look way out here. If you put them in a tight quartered area, like this mobile coop, they will get lazy. They will lay around and they'll look gross. They won't get the exercise and the meat won't be as tender, guys. So that's what the take-home message here is today, is allow your birds to roam a bit. Look at these guys running after bugs. Again, it is Japanese beetle season, so the whole yard is going to be covered in June bugs and Japanese beetles. These chickens will probably eat 10,000 Japanese beetles and June bugs over their lifetime, and that makes for some good food, some high nutritive value food. They're eating the pests that we don't want here on the farm anyway, and they're feeding us. You can't beat that, guys. So the take-home message here is wet your food. I think wetting your food cuts down on food waste. It also cuts down on water consumption during the hot summer months. Put them in an area that they can explore. This is an electrified poultry net so that the birds are safe at night. If predators come up at night, they stick their nose right there to that fence and pop, that's it. No more predator problem at all. We've never had a predator problem with the Premier One fencing. Wet your food and let your birds roam. You'll have better meat. You'll have better nutrition value and you'll have more tender meat. So guys, the Cornish crossbird is my favorite bird. The Ranger broilers, they don't grow quite as fast and they eat just about the same amount. If you like a brown chicken, get a Ranger broiler, but they're gonna have to live probably 12 to 15 weeks in a situation like this versus 9 to 10 weeks. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm today. I hope you learned a little bit on how we're doing our birds and maybe we'll give you some cool ideas for raising your own meat for your own family on your farm, all right? Or even in your backyard. It doesn't take much space to do this. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.
What an awesome day to be a chicken. You like beetles? Oh yeah, say I love beetles. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. We got us a screamer. Welcome back to the farm. Dude, you okay? Guys, it's June bug season on the farm, right? A bit different than a lot of folks. I'm gonna set this guy down, I guess. I don't know. If you do move them or allow them to do, we're getting what we're your level of performance. You got to perform a little better, okay? You got to do better. You ready? You ready for this? It's a good time. Okay? Ready? Here, put your foot up there. There you go. Got your foot up there.